Hi, my name is Liliana Aisha. I work as a marketing manager. Today, I will give a report about an underperforming employee who does not have a good communication skills. Let's look at the three main points of this report. First is characteristic of effective business communication, principles of effective business communication, and lastly, effective business communication skills. So now let's begin by looking at three key characteristics of effective business communication, especially in the context of managing a team, like when addressing an employee who is underperforming due to poor communication. The first characteristic is clarity. When I communicate with this employee, I need to be very clear about the reason I'm speaking with them. For example, I might say, I would like to talk about how we can improve the way ideas are shared in meetings. This helps them understand the objective of our conversation without the feeling of confused or defensive. Second, using multiple channels of communication can make a big difference. I might first send a brief email outlining the feedback, then follow up with a face to face meeting, and later use messaging apps to check in informally. This way, the message is reinforced and adapted to their preferred communication style. Lastly, we must never forget the importance of feedback. It's not just about giving feedback to the employee, it's also about inviting them to share their thoughts. I might ask, how do you feel about how things have been going in the team lately? This creates a two-way dialogue, making them feel heard and more open to improving. Now, let's explore three important principles that I apply when communicating with my team, especially when dealing with a situation like an underperforming employee with poor communication skills. First is correctness. When giving feedback to the employee, I make sure my message is factually accurate and clearly written. For example, I would point out specific incidents where unclear communication caused confusion using exact dates and outcomes. This helps avoid misunderstandings and shows that the feedback is based on real issues and not personal feelings. The second principle is courtesy. Even when addressing performance problems, I stay respectful and professional. I use positive, non blaming language like, I noticed there was some confusion during your presentation. Let's work on making your points clear. This way, the employee feels support and not feel attacked.
And lastly, conciseness. It is important to be direct and clear, especially when giving feedback. Instead of long explanations, I keep the message focused. What the problem is, why it matters, and how they can improve. This saves times and help the employee understand what to do next without feeling overwhelmed.
Let's talk about the critical communication skills that often makes the biggest difference in managing teams, which is interpersonal communication skills. These are the day-to-day human interaction that shapes relationships at work. For example, when I'm addressing an underperforming employee with poor communication habits, my active listening skills are essential. I didn't just tell them what went wrong, I give them space to explain their perspective. Sometimes performance issues are tied to confusion or personal stress, and listening shows that I care. I also pay attention to nonverbal cues like tone of voice, facial expression, and posture, both mine and theirs. I try to maintain calm, open body language, and speak in a tone that encourages dialogue and not with fear. Finally, I practice empathy. Instead of saying, you keep messing up your emails, I might say, I notice your message sometimes miss important details. Let's work together to improve that. I know it can be a lot to manage. As a manager, I need to give constructive feedback and help them improve through clear, light, and supportive communication. By applying strong communication principles and interpersonal skills, I can guide them to become more confident and effective in their role. That's all from me. Thank you.